Hey, what's up guys? My name is Calum or Calum's Fish Tanks and I'm a 17-year-old with a passion for planted tanks. Now today, I'm going to go through all my tanks for all you new viewers, give you guys the specs and all the updates for you existing viewers to my channel. So let's get started with the 11-gallon cube behind me. So this tank is currently only 2 weeks old. Now the main goal was to get lots of color and lots of contrast, and so far it's going decent. A couple of the plants are showing some really nice oranges and a bit of yellow. I would like a bit more red, but I don't know how well I'm going to be able to get that. So I may try nitrate limitation in the future, and if you're new around here, consider subscribing if you want to follow me on that journey. So the tank is a cube with all sides being around 35 centimeters or 14 inches. I'm running 2 desk lamps, one with an LED grow light and the other with an LED 5000 Kelvin bulb. And this is really helping me achieve those colors I want to get. For filtration, I'm using an Eheim 2211, which is rated for 40 US gallons, so it's a bit overkill for this tank, but it does great. For the substrate, I'm using a mix of 2 Tropica brand soils, one being the aquarium soil, which is just the standard stuff, and that is capped with the Tropica powder type, which is super good for growing carpeting plants. It's very small grain, so it allows them to get the roots through a lot easier, so I really found a big difference when I started using this while growing my carpeting plants. Hasn't taken effect yet because the ones I did put in were a bit ratty, but I'm hoping to get some more in the near future. Now stocking in this tank is relatively light. Now you should never add fish to a new aquarium, and I did though, because I did have a cycled filter, so it was ready. So do as I say, not as I do. I had nowhere else to put these fish, so I'm doing water changes every day to accommodate for the tank not being fully cycled. So for stocking, I have 4 rummy nose tetras. Now this is my brother's tank, so he chose what went in there. And I'm just kind of letting these guys live out their life, so I'm not going to add any more. I don't think he is either. And as well as I have a bunch of orange cherry shrimp, which are super pretty. They're kind of an orangish yellow because I think they are hybrids, but they're super pretty nonetheless, and I love having them in this tank. Next up is my 7.5 gallon cube. Now this is 30 centimeters by 30 centimeters by 30 centimeters, or 12 inches by 12 inches by 12 inches. And this is probably my favorite tank of all of them. It's got super nice dimensions, and I think I did a really good job on the scape. It's been growing super well, and as well as I have some interesting inhabitants in the tank as well, which make it my favorite of all of my tanks. For lighting, I'm running the same LED grow bulb as on my brother's 11 gallon. For filtration, I have an Eheim Classic 250. And the substrate is a mixture of fluval stratum capped with the same Tropica powder type I used in my brother's 11 gallon as well. For stocking in this tank, I have 5 ember tetras as well as a bunch of cherry shrimp. And the main feature of this tank is my crystal red shrimp, which I super love, as well as I do have some crystal black as well. I did have a lot of die-off while I went away for vacation. I stopped doing water changes and had no one looking after the tank, so I did have quite a bit pass away, but I still do have decent numbers in this tank. For changes in this tank, there has been one small one, being I pushed up all of the pygmy chainsword as well as the dwarf hairgrass, removed the Bacopa caroliniana, and placed in some pearlweed, which is going to give me a medium and a background, so I'm going to be able to slope it up towards the back because it does grow so fast and so dense. So it'll give me a really nice dome shape and should add something new to the scape that the Bacopa wasn't giving me. So we are now in front of my 40 breeder, and you may have also noticed that I'm wearing a different shirt, and that is because I am actually 3 years old and spilt spaghetti sauce on my other one. So I switched it up. But yeah, let's move on to talking about this tank. So this is the oldest tank I currently have running. It is about a year or 2 old, I'm not for sure, but lots of changes have went on with it. It is a 40-gallon breeder, making it 36 inches long, 18 wide, and 18 tall. On it, for light, I'm running a Fluval Fresh and Plant 2.0. For gravel, I have Fluval Stratum, where all the plants are, up in the front in this open area. I have pool filter sand. Now the reason I have such a big open area is because I only bought a 24-inch fluval fixture, which I really regret, and it's something I should be changing out for a different light fixture in the upcoming future. This tank is very heavily stocked with a school of Harlequin rasboras as well as silver tip tetras. I have a peacock gudgeon, 3 Siamese algae eaters, a small school of dwarf chain loaches, a leopard frog pleco, and a couple other little fish that I've been keeping in there forever. So it is very overstocked, but that way I save a bit of money on fertilizer, so it works out fine. I don't have any algae in this tank. It's at a point where it's matured enough. The algae isn't really a problem for me anymore. So yeah, it's a very smooth sailing tank, and I've got lots of fish in here, so it is super fun to watch. I think there really has only been one minor change in this tank, and that is that I added Bacopa caroliniana to the mid-ground in front of the Limnophilia sessiflora, and I think that'll add a bit of a different texture. Hopefully it'll grow a lot better than it did in my 7.5, because I think it wasn't getting enough nutrients, but this tank, like I mentioned, gets lots because of all the fish in it. Another change that has happened with this tank is the Ludwigia pantanal had melted away while I went away on that vacation. The Limnophilia sessiflora took over the whole tank and shaded it out, killing it, unfortunately. So I'm going to have to find something to replace it because I do have a big open area, and I'll do that most likely once I change up the light fixture on this tank. Anyways guys, that's going to wrap it up for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it and will consider subscribing if you are new around here. But anyways guys, this was Calum's Fish Tanks. Peace.